Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It gives me great pleasure to welcome everyone as we celebrate the 38th Annual Hall of Fame ceremonies. I'm Mike Ruzzi from Erie News Now, proud 1983 graduate of Edinboro University. It's great to be back on campus tonight. Thank you. Tonight, we gather to reflect on the accomplishments of the past and honor those individuals who helped establish tradition of Edinboro athletics. Back in 1982, 18 individuals were charter members as Edinboro's first class, and with tonight's induction, the Hall of Fame now swells to 270 members. That deserves a round of applause. We'd like to take this quick moment to send out a very special thanks to our corporate sponsor of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Allegheny Health Network, St. Vincent Hospital, and look forward to a long partnership with them. We also wish to thank the Edinboro University Alumni Association, along with Chartwell's, Piper Press Print, and Copy Center for helping us sponsor tonight's festivities. At this time, we're extremely proud to welcome Dr. Guiyu Hwang, the 19th president of Edinboro University, who will be providing tonight's opening remarks. President?
Good evening. I hope you are all doing well on a nice Friday afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed the food, the drinks, and the camaraderie. Thank you for joining us this evening as we celebrate our annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's a great pleasure to welcome everyone here tonight, especially our returning Hall of Fame members, coaches, student athletes, and our 2019 class of inductees. And they were all over the place. And you also, those inductees, former inductees, you have excelled on the field, in the pool, on the track, on the mat, and on the court. Many of you have been outstanding scholars as well as athletes. And we will continue to enthusiastically cheer your success in many fields of endeavor for years to come. Edinboro University was built for students with passion, perseverance, and grit. This is a campus for strivers, and you accepted the challenge to strive. After arriving at the university in July, I quickly learned that we Fighting Scots are passionate about our sports. Thanks to the individual efforts of our scholar athletes, and I like that term, scholar athletes, and those of Athletic Director Dr. Catherine Robbins, and there she is, she's going to speak afterwards, and her staff, very dedicated staff and coaches. Our passion is regularly rewarded with wins and honors. Our students, athletes, contribute to the success of Edinboro University by training hard, devoting themselves to the fundamentals of their sports and their academic majors, and giving them all on the field, win or lose. Of course, while I want to recognize all who relish the fight to be their best and to best their opponents, it's our winners we salute tonight. We salute you. Congratulations to you all. You epitomize the Fighting Scots spirit. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. Special thanks to Allegheny Health Network and St. Vincent Hospital for all they do for our student athletes. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Additional thanks to Dr. Robbins again, and the entire athletics team, the University Foundation, the Alumni Association, Dining Services, and the Polk Student Center staff for making this event happen. I hope you enjoyed tonight's celebration and you are able to join us for homecoming in just a couple of weeks. Go Fighting Scots. Have a good night.
Thank you, Doctor. Now we'd like to welcome a number of former Hall of Fame inductees joining us tonight. Bear with me on our first introduction. Please stand Paul Newman from the class of 1986. Back in 1982, I interned under Paul here at Edinboro University, and we worked together on the very first Hall of Fame banquet. Paul was the MC, and I can honestly say I wouldn't be standing here tonight and have put in 37 years in the television business without Paul Newman. Wait, I'm not done. You got to stay back up one more second. Back then in the sports information office, we mailed everything out. So I think I licked 14,000 envelopes. But without Paul and the late, great Dr. Frank Johnson, again, they meant so much to me. Paul, thank you for everything you did for me and a lot of people in this room. Appreciate it. 2003, Mr. Doug Watts. Doug, please stand. Doug made me earn my A in tennis. It was not an easy A, trust me. He had a hard tennis class. Gennaro Minocchio from the class of 2006. From the class of 2016, Todd J. and Callie Wheeler. From 1998, Mike Hassey. It's good to see Mike again tonight. There he is. And from 2017, John Graffius. John, where are you? Right there. We'd also like to take a special moment to introduce the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee. Those in attendance tonight, please stand again when your name is called. The chair of the committee, Mr. Bruce Baumgartner. Janet Boker. Janet, where are you? Sue Goldway. Sue. Thank you, Sue. Dave Hyam. Todd J. Mel Perry. John Police. Catherine Robbins. Roy Shin, Bob Shreve, and Janet Dean. Great job, committee. Thank you very much. In May of 2018, the Edinboro University Athletic Department underwent a major change, with Bruce Baumgartner being named Assistant Vice President of Advancement and Dr. Catherine Robbins appointed as Interim Director of Athletics. She played a major role in the academic success of the Fighting Scots in recent years while serving as an assistant professor and assistant chair of Edinboro's Department of Counseling, School Psychology, and Special Ed. She previously worked with student athletes while completing her doctorate at Clemson University. And it didn't take long to realize that Catherine was the right person for the job, and the interim tag was removed. Please welcome the Director of Athletics, Dr. Catherine Robbins.
Good evening. Good evening, inductees, family, friends, coaches. On behalf of the athletic department and the entire Fighting Scott family, I would like to extend a very sincere congratulations to Dana, Jenna, Gabriella, Ed, Greg, Alex, Deontay, and Chris. Go ahead, you can applaud, sure. I would also like to extend a congratulations to your families and your friends and your coaches and anyone who helped have a hand in this great accomplishment tonight, because we all know that success is never achieved alone. I don't know many of you before tonight, but as I read through your bios, I was humbled by the statistics and the accolades of each and every one of you. As a former athlete, I know the dedication and sacrifice it required for you to achieve the greatness of this Hall of Fame honor. I also want to thank you. I know it was all of you who paved the way for our current student athletes. You all were instrumental in creating the identity and the tradition of the Fighting Scot, a tradition of passion, perseverance, and grit that our over 350 current student athletes strive to live up to every day. Finally, and you knew this was coming, I need to end with a request. Based on the caliber of student athletes in this room tonight, I'm guessing that most, if not all of you, received some type of financial aid, some type of athletic aid to help you accomplish your goals in the classroom and in your sport. Some of you may have even come to Edinboro with great financial need. Our current student athletes have that same need, and just like you, they are spending 70+ hours each week dedicated to their sport and their academics. You can help alleviate some of that burden by giving back to the Hall of Fame Scholarship. To make that easy for you, in the back by the bar, we have a series of dip jars set up that all you need to do is slide your credit card in and make a donation to that Hall of Fame Scholarship. The Hall of Fame Scholarship rotates to a different sport each year, and you can help current student athlete achieve their dreams. Family and friends, if you would like to make a donation in honor of an athlete, just make sure you fill out the blue form on the table to name that athlete you would like to see that donation go to so that we can recognize them. I hope to see you all tomorrow at the football game. Chris, I don't know if you have any eligibility left or you're suiting up, but you may have heard we're playing Cal U tomorrow, and a little birdie told me you had a 99-yard interception for a touchdown. We may need you tomorrow. Thank you, and again, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Catherine. And as we mentioned earlier, Allegheny Health Network, St. Vincent Hospital has stepped forward to serve as a major sponsor for the Hall of Fame. Please welcome John Police, Director of Athletic Development, to address a couple of items. John, come on up.
Thanks, Mike. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be with you. As Mike said, my name's John Police. I'm the Director of Development here, and it's great to be in a room filled with so much talent and alumni and stories, so thank you all for taking time to be here. At this time, it's my honor to present this year's Edinboro University Athletic Advocate Award. The recipients of this award must have demonstrated over a period of time dedication to the promotion of athletics at Edinboro University, combined with a strong sense of loyalty, involvement, and philanthropy. This year's recipients have for some time and continue to put the Edinboro University athletic program and its students as a priority in their lives. 1953 alumnus John S. McBride, his wife Barbara, and son Richard established the John Butch McBride Memorial Athletic Scholarship for their son and brother who passed in 1970. They are members of our Royal Stewart Giving Society and have been loyal donors to the Athletic Hall of Fame Endowment, Athletes of the 50s Scholarship, the Annual Fund, and other academic department scholarships since 1972. This past June, the John Butch McBride Memorial Scholarship was the beneficiary of a generous planned gift from the McBride family. Accepting the award on behalf of the late John S. and Barbara McBride family is their son, Richard McBride. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging this year's Edinboro University Athletic Advocate Award winner, the McBride family.
Thank you, John. All right, now is the time to officially welcome our class of 2019 into the Edinboro Athletic Hall of Fame. And we will provide you with a limited production, supplementing the PowerPoint display on the video screen behind me, detailing each inductee's accomplishments. We also encourage you to visit our website at gofightingscots.com for a more in-depth bio. At this time, I'd like to have Bruce Baumgartner and our president come back up and help me with the presentations as well. Our first inductee is Chris Amico, who played football from 2003 to 2007, leading the Fighting Scots to the PSAC West Co-Championship in 2004 and 05, and a 30-14 record in 4 seasons. While dominating the line from his defensive tackle position, he earned All-American honors in his final 3 years and was a 4-time All-PSAC West selection. He was named PSAC West Defensive Player of the Year in 2005, while leading Edinboro to an 8-2 record. He graduated from Edinboro in 2007 with a bachelor's degree in speech communications. Please welcome Chris Amico into the Edinboro Hall of Fame. And we ask that Wayne Bradford also join us for pictures as well.
Well, good evening. On my trip down here, I was trying to figure out how I would do my speech. And about 5 minutes before I got called up, I think I got something pulled together. I'm not the best person with speeches, so bear with me. When we arrived today and we walked into the new facilities, we were greeted by people that have been my memories growing up. You know, I tell people now where I work with that these were some of the best memories of my life. And, you know, seeing Bruce, you know what I mean, Coach Bradford, Gary Hanna, Dave Heim, Todd J. I mean, it's like you walk in and you start talking to them and you feel like you're back here again. I feel like I want to go, you know, suit up tomorrow. I was like, I want to be in pregame warm-ups, you know, like 6 o'clock meetings. And it just, God, it just tells me how much I love being here and being a part of Edinboro football, Edinboro period. I came here, well, it was a 4-hour road trip, should have been 3, with my wife and 2 kids. One's, you know, 6 weeks old, one's 2.5, and we did hit traffic, so you know how that goes. But I also had the luxury of having about 20 family members come here tonight, and I just want to, you know, say thank you. You know, all made the trip, all sat in that traffic, and I appreciate it. Don't got much more, but I want to talk about a couple things. My brother actually played here from 98 to 03. And he was under, I think, Coach Holman and Tepper. And to be honest, Edinboro, I didn't even know about Edinboro. I just came up here to watch my brother play, you know what I mean? And we'd have a blast coming and watching these games. And the more and more I'd come here, I just love being a part of it. And, you know, you come to the pregame, you hear the bagpipes, you hear the band come out, you know, and you see all these guys just going crazy, and you just, wow, I want to be a part of that too. And he helped, you know, lead me into the direction where I'm actually standing here today, which is actually, again, that's also incredible because when you think about it, back when we had our Hall of Fame banquet, it was in the spring. It was, you know, every single student athlete came. and you had to sit here and you had to listen to everyone talk and same thing. You're just going, man, this is nuts. You know what I mean? You're just like, this is cool. I don't know if I'll ever be here, but, and then you'd see someone in your sport go up and you'd be like, wow, they talk, you'd be like, wow, that dude was, he was incredible. You know what I mean? His numbers don't lie. All-American, all PSAC. And to just be here, standing here now and experience it, it's a whole new mentality. Now I'm humbled. You know what I mean? I went from being someone that just sat at the table, you know what I mean, playing with my fingers, going, I can't wait this to be over, to this is unreal. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it like that, but as a student, you're young, you're a kid in college, and I look back at those times and I'm like, man, the people that I got to see and speak were incredible individuals, and they not just were incredible while they were at Edinboro. I mean, to hear their stories post-Edinboro was incredible. Everyone had families. Everyone had successful careers. It was just great to know that when you came from Edinboro, you graduated from Edinboro, I mean, you got a good life, you know what I mean? And I can't complain, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, I thank my wife for everything. She's standing in the back left corner right now rocking our daughter, all right? So, to leave on this note, I came in not knowing where my future would lead, and I've met many good players. I met many good men and women from this school, and they helped shape me who I am today. So I was just like, thank you very much. I'm humbled again, and everyone have a good night, and go Borough, baby.
Our second inductee is Chris Avery. Chris played cornerback. Yeah, let's give him a good round of applause. Well deserved. Chris played cornerback for Edinboro from 2002 to 05 and was named to Edinboro's all-time team. He held the career record for interceptions with 20 until late last season. He was a three-time All-PSAC West honoree and capped his career by being named to 3 All-American teams as a senior. He helped Edinboro to 3 PSAC West co-championships and the NCAA Division II playoffs twice. Chris graduated from Edinboro in 2007 with a bachelor's degree in health and physical ed. He currently resides in Medina, Ohio, and is a realtor for Keller Williams Greater Cleveland. He has one son, Mason. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Avery into the Edinboro Hall of Fame and Coach Wayne Bradford.
Friends, family, coaches, administrators, professors, thank you for this honor. Thank you is not enough. I want to give a special shout out to Todd J. More than 10 years ago, you told me that I'd be standing right here behind this podium in front of this microphone speaking to all of you tonight. And a small thought crept into my head throughout all of those years. How irresponsible is it to give a trash-talking defensive back 5 to 7 minutes to say whatever he wants? Todd J, seriously, you deserve a bravery award. Secondly, I want to thank Coach Bradford. Coach, you taught me everything that I know about this great game that I love, and I seriously appreciate everything that you've ever taught me, how hard you push me, And also, my freshman year, you decided to move me from the short side of the field where I had to actually tackle people with footballs to covering people that were throwing footballs. Thanks, I really do appreciate it. It worked out. Shout out to Bob Shreve for always adding about 10 pounds and 3 inches or so to my height. Definitely helped with my psyche. Also, congratulations goes out to Bob Shreve. Congratulations is in order because he was just named to the Metro Erie Sports Hall of Fame as well, so please give it up for him. Thank you to Gary and his staff and the training staff. You guys helped me fight back from injuries, keep me on the field. And it's all right, even though when I first walked on campus, you thought I was the backup kicker. It's cool. Again, it worked out. It's all right. But in all seriousness, to be here today, I can't sufficiently put it in words to convey how happy I am and how grateful I am for all of the thoughts, prayers, wishes, and support that I received. I also want to thank my teammates. I cherished all of the time, especially with you, Chris, Paul. You guys are here. That's awesome to see you again. The training tables, the 6:30 a.m. conditioning, the film sessions before game day, the walkthroughs, all of that stuff. And even though you guys all thought it was weird that I would wear my Jim Tressel-inspired sweater vest on travel trips, it's all right. Again, it worked out. Finally, I want to thank my parents. To my father, without your wisdom and trust in God to show me the path to success, this day would have never been possible. You see, during my freshman year, I was injured with a pretty devastating injury. I was in an immobilizer for what felt like 9 months. It felt forever. And I've never felt so bad about myself. I was down on myself. I wanted to quit. I wanted to go home. And my father was never the type of guy that pushed me. He wasn't the guy that was in the coach's face. He didn't yell at referees. He didn't do any of that. At every single game, he would sit at the top row of Sox Harrison Stadium and diligently watch, diligently analyze, and pray to God that I would just be great and strong and safe. In my darkest, most adverse times, he was there for me, and he gave me this advice. He said, Chris, I know that you want to come home, but listen, you came to Edinboro to finish something. You came here to accomplish something great, and I don't think that traveling down the road of leaving Edinboro is going to fulfill you. Don't leave this job undone. Finish it because it will pay off. Pops, you've never been more right. Thank you, and I love you. To my mother, and just to let everyone know, if you are taking bets of whether I cry through this part, crying is heavily favored, so just to let you know. Where do I start, Mom? You traveled with me. You drove me around the country to football camps, to campus visits, to interviewing coaches, to making sure that I was okay, and cheering me on during the game. You would say, get that ball. It's going to be great. Intercept. None of those make any sense, but it's all right. There's too many memories to recount, but one of my favorite ones that my mother would do all of the time, and Chris and Paul, I think you guys might remember this, but after every single home game, I could always count on coming back to my locker and having DB cookies. She would buy chocolate chip cookies from Dick's Bakery in my hometown, and we would always have them for the team, win or lose, and she was always there supporting us. Turn the page. You taught me what perseverance was. When my brother and I, we were both in athletics, when the schedules got busier and busier, she decided to go back to school. She taught for 38 years. She went back to school, got her master's degree. And then I came to Edinboro, and she started traveling and coming to all of my games and all of my brother's games as he played baseball at Ashland. You went out and said, whatever, I'm gonna go get my doctorate real quick and be an even better person and be able to be a better communicator and better educator, as if it was hard enough dealing with both of us at the same time. Far before I joined the Navy, you taught me that the only easy day was yesterday. And you're never out of the fight. This award is as much yours as mine. Congratulations, and I love you. Finally, I just want to express my deepest gratitude to all the family members that have supported all of the athletes and everyone else that has been inducted tonight. Congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to all of your family. But the road is not done. This journey is not over. We are still striving. We are still striving for greatness. And I pose this question to all of you here tonight. What is one thing that you didn't do today that you can do tomorrow that will make a better place for all of us the next day? Thank you, and congratulations, everybody.
Great job. Thank you. Great job, Chris. You want to MC the rest of the show? That was so good. I can't top that. Our next inductee is Alex Clemson, who was a standout on the Edinboro wrestling team from 2002 to 07 while competing at 184 pounds. Unfortunately, Alex is not with us tonight because of his duties as a wrestling coach at the University of Maryland. Alex was a four-time national qualifier who earned All-American honors as a senior with a fourth-place finish. He also won one EWL championship and was a four-time PSAC champion. He finished his career with a record of 121-35. Tonight, he sends along an acceptance video. We'll show it at this time.
Hey everybody, I remember sitting in that crowd just about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, watching other Hall of Fame inductees be inducted and thinking two things. Wow, that's really cool, and hurry up and talk so we can get out of here and go have some fun. So I'll keep this short. I just want to say thanks to everybody that got me to the Edinboro University and made my dreams possible while I was a fighting Scot. A lot of great people invested in me along the way, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. I want to thank my mom and dad, my high school wrestling coaches, for putting me in position to get to Edinboro. And then while I was there, Tim Flynn and Lou Roselli were huge influences on me from a standpoint of developing as a student athlete and as a person, and I'm forever grateful for their mentorship. Cliff Moore, Gary Astorino, Mike Hassey, appreciate everything you guys did for me as well along the way. Gary Hanna, G Money, I appreciate what you did to keep me put together. It seemed like every time we turned around, I was battling something, and the hours that you spent with me rehabbing and your staff were priceless for me and for the experiences that I was then able to have because I was healthy enough to go out and compete. So thank you so much. Bruce Baumgartner, when I got the call from you to let me know that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame was a really special call. Not just to get a call from the athletic director at your alma mater, but from a living legend in the sport in which you participated is really neat. And when I think about the other people that I'm being enshrined with, it's really special. Some of the guys that came before me for Edinboro Wrestling, the company that I now get to keep in that distinction's very, very impressive. And to everybody, all the other inductees tonight, congratulations. Some of you guys were great friends for me, and I'm sorry I can't be there to celebrate with you, but very proud of what we could do as student athletes at our time at Edinboro, and appreciative of our time there together. And a special shout out to my teammate Deontay Penn, two-time All-American Deontay Penn. Congrats, I'm proud of you, my man. I'm happy for you. I hope you have a great evening celebrating with everyone there. And maybe if you guys get to the hotel bar tonight, put one back for me. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.
Our fourth inductee is Gabriella Hinelkova, who competed for Edinboro in cross country and track and field from 1998 to 2000, a native of the Czech Republic. She transferred to Edinboro in the fall of 1998 after competing for 2 years at NAIA Oklahoma Baptist. She earned All-American honors twice in cross country, finishing 20th in 1998 and 8th in 1999. The second highest finish by an Edinboro women's runner at nationals. She was named the 1999 NCAA East Region Division II Runner of the Year and PSAC Women's Cross Country Runner of the Year in track and field. She was also an All-American in 1999, thanks to a fourth place finish in the 10,000 meter run at the Outdoor Championships. She earned her bachelor's degree from Edinboro in education in 2000 and later earned her master's degree in special ed from the University of New Mexico in 2008. She currently resides in Mexico with her daughter. She's a special education teacher. Please welcome Gabriella into the Edinboro University Athletic Hall of Fame, and would Annie Cleary and Clayton Foster join us as well?
Wow. Great story, you guys. I don't have a paper ready to, but anyways, I really appreciate this opportunity. And Coach Watts, can you, I don't know. I transferred to Edinboro back in '98 and finished my college career at this university, and I wish I had my entire 4 years while, it was only a year and a half that I was able to come and join this great team. But anyways, I wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate the opportunity that Coach has provided. He offered me a scholarship. I was born and I grew up in a communist country, and it I came to the U.S. in 1995, and I didn't know anyone. I didn't speak the language. I had $300 in my bag, and I ended up meeting people on an airplane who helped me once I got in the U.S. to stay in the country. And this great family was in Oklahoma. I arrived one day after the Oklahoma City bombing, which to me, and it was in Oklahoma City, but to me, I didn't know what was happening because I didn't understand English, and so I was kind of, just used to movies and, hey, aren't things blowing up everywhere? But it was a difficult time, and people came, during this particular situation, and actually ended up going out of the way to help me to accomplish my dreams and be able to stay in the country. I've always wanted to come to the U.S. I was 15 years old when I started dreaming about wanting to, one day I was gonna live my dream, and I was gonna, be able to come to the U.S. and have an opportunity. And so when we were talking about training and racing and running and whatever it is you do, when I felt like I could not, or I did not want to, or I was too tired, I was too sick, I was too whatever, I told myself one day this is gonna pay off. And that's kind of what pushed me forward, and it has, with help of other people, of course, but so that, yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of just an opportunity in general, you know, you guys and people like you helping others, like you were talking about the scholarships, and someone like myself couldn't afford, you know, to go to college, but yet, you know, with hard work, you can accomplish many things, and you can always start with a, you know, first thing accomplished, do whatever it is for yourself, first thing in the morning before your day gets going, and that's what running was for me. So even if I had a bad day, and I knew I ran in the morning, I came home and I did something for myself that eventually would have paid off. So, and it has. So, thank you. I'm getting a little distracted with the pictures I haven't seen in years, but anyways, the families that have ended up helping me are unfortunately not able to come and join us, but and you're very lucky, Chris, having your family here. I just, my entire family lives in the Czech Republic, and so I go visit whenever there is an opportunity, but unfortunately they are not coming to join me, but you know, they would say the same thing. Thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to become the best I can be. And I have been an educator for 19 years now in special education. And it has been just a great experience, you know, being able to work with children who have special needs. They actually have brought out the best in me. So this being one part of my life is the running, and now it's focusing on other people and being able to help somebody else, and that has been a great experience, and I'm so lucky I can do that, so thank you.
Our next inductee is Ed Mallard. In my previous career as a sportscaster, I used to marvel at Ed when I'd see him at games at the old Three Rivers Stadium, running up and down the sidelines, taking all these pictures. He just worked so hard at his craft. He's being inducted tonight for the Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. A native of Meadville, Pennsylvania, he earned his bachelor's degree in photojournalism from Edinboro University 1979 while working as a sports writer at the Meadville Trib. Now, he worked at the Trib for over 40 years as a sports writer, chief photographer, and the last plus 20 years as nighttime managing editor. Since 1981, he served as a photographer for Topps baseball and football cards. Now, he estimates he's produced the photography for over 15,000 baseball and softball cards. He was inducted into the Major League Baseball's Cactus League Hall of Fame in 2015. He still resides in Meadville with his wife, Joyce. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ed Mallard into the Edinboro Hall of Fame.
Well, it's certainly a great honor to be mentioned in company like this, and actually quite humbling. I got to remind you, though, that I was quite an athlete back in my day. Wiffle ball comes to mind, and throwing rocks at telephone poles. I was really good at that. I came to Edinboro hoping to become a high school math and science teacher. And And I wasn't here very long before I found my way over to Crawford Gymnasium and asked junior varsity coach Dave Rooney if he needed another student manager for his basketball team. And he said yes. And let the fun begin, because that was a very transitional and exciting time at Edinboro Athletics. Halfway through my sophomore year, Macomb opened, and it was a real gem, as it still is. And on that opening night, I had the privilege of being seated on the bench in front of the entire crowd at Macomb, opening night, first game. And it was just a transitional experience for me. It was something that I didn't really think about deserving or not, but it was just a great fun time. And I also met at that time Coach Doug Watts, who asked me to become his manager as well. And I did that for 3 years. And you didn't have to be in the company of Doug Watts for more than a few minutes before you knew that there was a genius standing in front of you. He was really special, and it was easy to see why he achieved so much and brought so much great honor to this college. But then I was sort of assumed into the sports information department, and I don't know how else to explain it other than assumed, because I don't really remember how it happened, but Paul Newman took me under his wing, and it was a great experience. My boss was the president of the Sports Information Directors of America, and he taught me so much, and he was really the power behind a lot of the things that I was able to think about, do, and achieve. He couldn't type. He wrote all his stories out longhand on a legal pad and handed it over to be typed by others and sent out, as Mike said, into the mail or put into programs or making catalogs. But hey, these were times at Edinboro that even every time you came into the field house or got ready for an event or keeping stats for football, baseball, and basketball, you had a little bit of pep in your step, because you knew so much was going on that was good and that was important for what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be at that time in your life. And after my junior year, I came in and said to Paul, "Are you ready for me to come back for one more time around?" And he said, "Yeah, but I really thought you'd apply for the job at your hometown paper as a sports writer." And I thought for a second, gee, I don't really want to leave the borough. I kind of love it here. I want to stay here. But I reached out, and 2 weeks later, I was sitting at a desk, my own desk at the Meadville Tribune, my own telephone, my own typewriter, and less than 3 months later, by Christmas week of that year, I had paid off all of my student loans on a salary of $120 a week. You can do the math on that one. And I had started to make payments on a brand new Chevy Nova. And that Christmas week, I was in the press box at Three Rivers Stadium, sitting next to a writer from the New York Times as we looked down and watched Franco Harris run back his immaculate reception. It was fantastic. And while at the Tribune, I started to take a lot of pictures on the side. I learned some photography up here, eventually came back to get my photojournalism degree. And one point of advice I usually give a lot of students is don't change your major in the middle of your senior year. Because at the end of 10 years from my start at Edinboro, I got my degree in photojournalism. But I was being published by then in magazines and journals and the Meadville Tribune. And then I got the call from Topps in 1981, and that's where I've been ever since. And it's all part-time. things like this make you realize how important your family is. And I grew up in a family that was very close, had a lot of fun together. We always knew what was important, where our family values were. My sister Mary was the good-looking and popular one in the family. She came here tonight from West Virginia. She was always so much fun to be around. Her husband Larry is with her tonight. He just got done walking halfway across Spain on the St. James Way. My other sister Roseanne knows more about the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Penguins than they know about themselves. Stepson Steve has been on a lot of Topps journeys with me for NFL Rookie Premier for Topps. He'd work for free. Say, yeah, give me a plane ticket and a weekend with the NFL #1 draft choices, and I'll come along. And every now and then, somebody from Topps would come up and say, hey, where's Steve? Do you know where he went? And I said, yeah, he's back behind this tent over here talking to Colt McCoy, or he's over there talking to Philip Rivers. You should see the man cave in his house with the souvenirs and the autographs. And he brought his daughter, our great-granddaughter, Kylan, who's on the volleyball team at North Hills High School. And I have to mention the hero of it all is Joyce, my wife. And she's put up with so much. You know, you go traveling around to 50 stadiums and 1,400 professional events. You tend to miss some things, be away a lot. And actually, she came along with me. She's a big sports fan. She came along with me a lot of the times. And the players, they were okay with me. But when she was along, gee whiz, I have these pictures of her getting big hugs from Frank Thomas and from Sammy Sosa. I'm going, holy cow, you know, I wish they liked me that much. But she also had the one incident at a Colorado Rockies photo day where she was keeping the list for me, and there was a little lull in the action, and she suddenly got the entire press corps and half of the Colorado Rockies rolling on the ground in laughter. During this moment of inactivity, she decided to toss the baseball to a player who was seated on the stool in front of me who wasn't looking. I'll let you guess where the ball landed. And it brought a moment of joy to everyone but him. I'll leave you with one little story. You can imagine with 1,400 events that there were some things to see and a lot of fun to be had. And the people that along the way, the photographers, were terrific. The players are fine. You know they're working. You can't exactly socialize a great deal with them. But there were moments. And Joyce always told me, or actually kind of, you know, chastised me a little bit every now and then. She'd say, you don't have to be the first one on the field and the guy that turns out the lights when you go to a game or when you go to an event. Well, I was in Phoenix, and Topps called me up and said, this was when San Diego was still having spring training in Yuma, Arizona, which was 3.5 hours down the road. And they said, hey, can you go down to Yuma? The Giants are playing the Padres. Stay down there for the whole weekend. Just shoot like crazy. Send back everything. And I said, yeah, no problem. And so I drive down and get up the next morning. I get out there really early. And got to find the field, make sure I know where I'm at and where everything's going to happen. And then, I'm telling you what, this field was not as nice as UPMC Park in Erie right now, where's Bob's stomping ground. It was in the middle of a dusty desert. It did have some green grass in it, and it was okay though as a stadium goes. Now the Padres are in a really palace of a place in Peoria. But I walk in there real early, and there's Tony Gwynn, arguably the greatest hitter of his generation. And he's taken some extra batting practice from a pitcher, and he's got a right fielder. And Tony always hit to the left side of the field, and that's where he got most of his 3,500, 3,600 hits. But he was pulling the ball and knocking them off the right field fence, one after another, bang, 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 home run, double. And I'm in the dugout, and I thought, well, you know, Tony's so hard to photograph because he's always down low and he doesn't lift his head up. So I took a knee, I get down really low, and that looked okay. I thought, well, he's just hitting them that way. I go out to the third base coaching box, and I kneel down there and get as low as I possibly can, and I'm photographing Tony swing after swing. I thought, that's even better. I think I'll go kneel on third base. So I go and kneel on third base. Tony looks up at me, and I said, Mr. Gwynn, do you mind if I kneel here for a little bit? And he said, yeah, I don't care. Next pitch, a line drive goes about 12 feet over my head. I thought, well, that's interesting. So I thought, I didn't give it much of a thought. And this next pitch goes about 6 feet over my head, and I feel it go by. And I thought, you know, I looked up at him and I said, geez, Tony, I thought you said I could kneel here. And he says, mister, you can stay there all day if you want. I thought, well, I guess that's my cue to get back into the dugout. But it was one of the fun moments, and there were a lot of them. And if you, as I think back with the 50 stadiums and following Cal Ripken to Montreal and when he was trying to break Lou Gehrig's record, and the couple of no-hitters and stuff that I saw along the way. But from that dusty field in Yuma, Arizona, to all those ballparks and all the fun that I had, I constantly remember and remind myself, it all started right here. It started at Edinboro. Go Borough.
Our next inductee is one of only 2 Edinboro volleyball players to earn AVCA All-American honors. Jenna Newman played for the Fighting Scots from 2004 until 07 and was named an honorable mention AVCA All-American, along with earning third-team All-American accolades as a senior. She was then the 2007 PSAC West Player of the Year, and she led the Fighting Scots in kills and blocks in 3 out of 4 years. She was also a 2-time All-AVCA Atlantic Region selection and earned first-team All-PSAC West honors twice. She ranked second in career kills with over 1,800 and also second in total blocks with 467. She completed work on her bachelor's degree in communications in 2015 and currently resides in Sierra Vista and works in operations at Teleperformance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jenna Newman into the Edinboro Hall of Fame, and Missy Sobolewski, please join us up front.
Hello. I don't even know where to start. Okay, well, actually I do. So congratulations, all other inductees. It's obviously an honor. I'm super humbled by it. Luckily, I was able to actually witness more than half of you actually in action in your prospective talent. So super excited to see everyone back. Obviously, I would like to thank my athletic director at the time, Bruce, Bob Shreve, Dave, Gary and the trainers. They always took care of me even when I wasn't playing anymore. Definitely a shout out to Todd J. He had to track me down through former athletes actually. Like, hey, by the way, you have an award coming. Also, Catherine Robbins, thank you so much for giving me that phone call. It was nice to chat with you, get to know you. Looks like you've done amazing things, heard nothing but good. So awesome, and thank you. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll never forget my recruiting trip. I sat down at, I believe, the Crossroads Diner, and at the time I was a different coach, and she told me the big new thing was Walmart. And I just looked at my mom like, help. Stayed with a bunch of the girls in the dorm. I think at the time it was Scranton, old school Scranton, some of us know. And those were some of the teammates I ended up choosing to come here. The Edinboro was completely opposite from my comfort zone. Obviously, you know, people have their idea of Las Vegas, as you can imagine. And let alone, you know, big city girl from there coming to Edinboro, you know, the quaint hole-in-the-wall town. Like, loved it though. Loved the feel, the genuine feel of it. And then the coach that recruited me left for a better opportunity or a different opportunity, whatever, however you want to put it, 3 weeks before training camp. So I had like kind of family members and people like, you sure you want to go there? I'm like, heck yeah. And at the time, you guys are gonna laugh at this, I didn't know it was the borough. I kept calling it Boro. My freshman roommate was from Ohio. She's like, yeah, it's Edinboro. It's like borough. It's so embarrassing. So long story short, spring season comes along, and probably the best thing to ever happen to Edinboro volleyball was Coach Soboleski. And I cannot thank you enough for everything that you have taught me, helped me with on and off the court. My volleyball career, my accolades, everything I learned from you. I was a better person, a better athlete, the best volleyball player I could be as a 5'10" middle hitter. And so thank you so much for everything and being here, moving your game up so you could be here at the ceremony tonight. I love you and thank you. I don't want to get emotional. Coach, you know I don't like to cry, just like you like hugs so much. My teammates, obviously, thank you so much. Benkelman, Jenna Benkelman, my freshman, stayed with me all 4 years. Love you. Thank you so much for being here. Made it just in the nick of time to watch me be embarrassed giving a speech. And then most importantly, my family. My parents were always great supporters. And my mom, who made it here. We flew from Texas together. And you have been my rock my whole life. I couldn't do anything in this world. I definitely disappointed you, I'm sure. But for you to turn your back on me, you supported my career. You were always my biggest fan. You made it out here the most. I know it wasn't easy going from West Coast to here, but thank you. Thank you for being here. I couldn't even be more thankful to spend it with anyone else. So thank you. I love you. I'm up here because of you. So that's all. Thanks.
Our next inductee is Deontay Penn, who, like Alex Clemson, starred for the Edinboro wrestling team from 2002 to 07. He was a three-time national qualifier, all at 165 pounds, earning All-American honors twice. He finished fourth as a junior in 2005-06, helping the Fighting Scots to an 8th place finish as a team, and the following year was 7th as Edinboro finished 9th. He also won 2 Eastern League Wrestling titles and 2 PSAC crowns while finishing his career with a record of 114-43. He set school records at the time for falls in a season with 20 and in a career with 53. Deontay received his Bachelor of Arts degree in 2017 and resides in Las Vegas with his wife Vanessa and daughters Mariah and Michaela and son Deontay. He is the Human Resource Director of a family-run business, Visiting Angels Senior Home Care. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Deontay Penn into the Edinboro Hall of Fame. And please welcome wrestling coach Matt Hill as well.
All right. So first, I want to thank Edinboro for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. This is a true honor to me. Also want to congratulate all the other inductees this year for everything you guys have done for Edinboro as well. But I guess this is about me, so let me tell you about me, how I got into wrestling more so. So I started in wrestling in 8th grade. My stepfather and my older brother were the people who got me into wrestling. I wasn't too good then. I guess I wasn't good at all. But throughout my time, I got better. 9th grade, I had short goals throughout like my whole career. My short goal for my 9th grade year was just to make the team, make the varsity team. And I made the varsity team. I went on to be the only person on that team that year that didn't make it though to we had sectionals, districts, and state. I was the only embarrassing person that didn't make it to that district that year. So that was very, very traumatic for me. So the next year, my goal was to make it to district. Next following year, I did make it to district. And then, things were getting better for me. My junior year in high school, I did, my goal was to actually make it to state. I got to the match to make it to state. I ended up losing that match. So I was an alternate. So it devastated me that I wasn't able to achieve my goals at those times. So the next following year was my senior year. I got to do something here. So my goal this year was to make it to state and try to be a state champion. That year I didn't make it to state. I ended up taking second in the state. So I didn't achieve the goal I wanted to, but I was always making goals for myself. But for that, what they do for the state champions and the runners-up, they put them all together into one thing, it's like a nationals. And the top runner-ups and the state champions get together and they have a tournament. In that tournament, I did end up taking 6th in the nation. And so I thought, I'm somebody. At that time, I started getting some recruiting trips set up. Edinboro was my first one. So let me tell you about this recruiting trip, everybody. So I get here on the Easter Sunday. No one's here. When I say no one, there's no one here. And so the kid I had on our team took me to Dauber's hardware store, and we played the vice grip game. I'm not sure how many people have played the vice grip game, but they put the vice grip about this time, you got to squeeze it together. So that's what we did about for like 2 hours or so. So I was like, wow, okay, this is me, huh? And so at that time, then we went bowling after that, and that was the end of my recruiting trip. I met the coach the next day. He sold my mom on that. I was getting in trouble and stuff in high school. He sold my mom on, you can't get in trouble here. There's nothing to do. All you can do is train. Like there's no drinking on campus. And I'm like, okay. So we get in the car. My mom's like, yeah. Well, so what you think? I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going there. And so she's like, so before we even get to the house, she's like, oh yeah. So when we get home, we're gonna sign that letter of intent, and you're going to Edinboro. I'm like, oh man. I still got 3 recruiting trips set up. I can't try those other ones. Nope, that's it. We found the one. So here I am. I'm at Edinboro. But I mean, to me, that was a blessing. I didn't not knowing what decision my mom was making for me was going to be such a blessing for me. But let me keep going on with my career with wrestling. Okay, so in wrestling, in my 9th grade year, it was more my 9th grade year, my freshman year in college was really just to be on a starting team. So I did end up making the starting team. I ended up losing my wrestle off that year, and I wasn't able to go on to our league tournament and things of that nature, which kind of crushed me because I wanted to go to that next step and see what I can really truly accomplish. So that next year, after that, my sophomore year, I did make it to that. I was the starter. I ended up winning our league EWL championships, and I went on to nationals. At that time, my brother was also wrestling at Cleveland State, so we both made it together, which was awesome. Me and my brother both wrestling there. I think it was Oklahoma, so my mom and them made it all the way out there, and we both got killed. So we both went 0-2. Oh boy, it was there wasn't a lot to talk about, a lot of tears, a lot of emotions. Okay, but that point on, from there, I decided that I need to do something more to better myself to get to the top notch. And so that next year, I talked to my coach. I was this height, but I was wrestling 149, and I was cutting a lot of weight to get there. And so I talked to him about moving up, and he decided we're going to take a redshirt year and let you develop into your weight at 165. I ended up moving up to 165. At that time, my goal was to make it to nationals, and then also at that time win some matches there. So I get to nationals. I do make it to nationals, and my first match is against a kid that beat me that year, 17-5. He was seeded the 4th kid in the tournament. So I'm a little like, oh man, what a bad draw. But I get out there and I'm confident in myself. And I go out there and I put my hands on him. And he gets whooped pretty good. So I beat him like 7-3. I'm the biggest upset in the tournament that year. I do move on to take his spot, and I take 4th in the nation that year, which was a true blessing to me. But from there, it just made me decide that I need to do better. So I took 4th. 4th was good, but I want to be first. So that next year, my goal was to be the national champion. All year long, I'm setting school records. I'm pinning everybody who's in front of me. There's no one that's going to stop me from getting to my goal. And I get to nationals, and a kid who I previously beat in high school, he never lost a match in high school. I was the only person to beat him. His name was Mark Perry. I met him in the quarterfinals, and he ended up beating me 6-5. Pretty much crushing my dream of not being a national champion. And from there, give me a second. From there, it essentially destroyed me. I wrestled back and stuff, but I only took 7 because I wasn't able to achieve my goal that I wanted to. But I said, but during that time, it was awesome being at Edinboro with my teammates and learning how to be the man that I was going to become today. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everything that has happened through me in my life. The few thank yous I do want to give out today is some people that came with me today, my family members. I want to first start with my wife. So she is my rock. She is my everything. I love her to death. Also, I have my three children. I have my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter, she was, when I was in college, I actually had her in college. So it did make things tough for me, deciding between being a father and also being a student athlete. But she is the reason I am who I am today as well, because without her, I'm not sure if I would have made the right decisions. My other 2 children that are here, the 2 small ones that are over videotaping me or trying to, they're just true blessings to me as well. Also like to thank my other family members who aren't here. My mother is, like I said, half the reason, almost all the reason I am here today. She's always been my rock, and I love her to death. Also want to thank my stepfather getting me into this, my older brother, his name is D'Angelo, my little brother Rick, Michael, and my sister Shantia. Also want to thank some of my teammates also as well. Also, let's start off with my coach. So I want to thank my coach, Tim Flynn, for recruiting me, even though I told him I'm better than him, and I was. But also, I would like to also thank Lou Roselli, because Lou Roselli was the person that also told me I need to build on my fundamentals. And throughout wrestling, I was always the guy who can roll and catch people on their back. But those things are great, but you have to have fundamentals to win these matches that you really need to. And I thank him for that, because it changed my perspective on wrestling altogether. Also, I want to thank Mike Hassey, also Gary Astorino, Bruce Baumgartner, and then also my teammates. My teammates such as Matt Hill, who is the head coach now of Edinboro. Also, I have also some of my actual best friend who I met through college is Sean Bunch. Sean Bunch and Donald Walker and some other people like that, they have been a big influence in my life. And I just want to thank them all for everything they have done for me and continue to do for me. And that's it. So thank you guys for everything.
Our next inductee is Greg Sarback, a former standout on the swimming team from 1992 to 95, who now joins teammates John Graffius and Dave Leckler as Hall of Fame members. He was a 9-time All-American while competing in the backstroke, freestyle, and medley relays, and was named to Edinboro's all-time team. He competed for Nebraska as a freshman before transferring to Edinboro. He earned All-American honors once in 92-93, then in 93-94 was a 5-time All-American, and as a senior, a 3-time All-American. He departed Edinboro with 5 school records, and he's enjoyed a highly successful coaching career since moving on. He graduated from Edinboro in 1996 with a bachelor's degree in natural sciences and mathematics. He's currently the head coach of the Peninsula Wave Riders and resides in Erie with his wife Carly and 3 children, Owen, Troy, and Stella. Please welcome to the Hall of Fame, Greg Sarback.
Hello, everybody. My voice will clear up here in a little bit. I think I had to be more like a football player weaving in and out of the tables and the chairs to get up here than a swimmer. So I'm really excited to be here. I was very happy to get the call that I was able to get into the Hall of Fame. It was a long time ago now, so it's a little harder to remember than some of you guys, I think. But we were a very good team at the time when this was, and I don't really know. I don't even think at the time that we knew how good we actually were. But as a team, it was very impressive. We would have 6 guys make nationals, and with those 6 guys, we placed 4th in the nation. And I just hope that those guys' backs don't hurt too bad nowadays for carrying me the whole time. So I'll tell you what, we had some really, really great swimmers, and they really, really brought the team together. It was a very, very, how should I say it? Gratifying experience being a part of the team. We started out with one of our coaches, Paul Stam, who was an incredible recruiter. And he recruited pretty much everybody that was on our team for the next 3 years. He was also very good at telling stories and getting us fired up to swim, which was a lot of fun. He was also a stroke technician, which helped us get our technique the way that we wanted it. And then, believe it or not, in the 3 years that I swam here, we had 3 different coaches. So the group that kept going to nationals pretty much stayed the same. And it was the second coach we had was Dan Langen, and he was quite different than Coach Stam was, and he really worked us in a different way, and we all seemed to stay on that line of improving, and it was very interesting to see the 2 different styles of coaching. So I love swimming, and I still coach swimming now. You wouldn't know by this speech that I'm giving you right now, but I actually do stand up and talk in front of people. So, if I knew the video thing was an option, I definitely would have took that. So, I do want to thank my parents, and they were with me ever since I was little. If you know, kids in sports, they travel all over the place. They were at all of my meets, and they never were overbearing with me at all. They were never too aggressive with what they wanted to tell me. They were just there to support me, and I really appreciate that. And I can, as you stop swimming now, and you can really see how that helped me throughout the years. So, and then my best friend and my lovely wife, Carly Sarback's back there, and my mother-in-law, Pam Main, over here, and then my teammate John Graffius and his girlfriend, who I haven't seen since then, pretty much. But thank you guys for coming and supporting me, and thank you, Edinboro, for having this great dinner and this great Hall of Fame banquet. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Our final inductee is Dana Webb. A member of the Edinboro softball team from 06 to 09 and Edinboro's first NFCA All-American. She earned third team NFCA All-American honors as a senior. She was also named a first team All-American as a senior and was selected to the PSAC West Athlete of the Year after hitting .448 with 17 home runs and 59 runs batted in. All school records at the time. She was a three-time All-PSAC selection and three-time NFCA All-Atlantic Region honoree. Her school records include home runs with 33, doubles with 34, runs batted in with 135, along with being tied for first in triples with 16. She also had a career batting average of .370. She graduated from Edinboro in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in health and physical ed and earned her master's degree in rehabilitation counseling in 2011. She is currently employed at the Department of Labor and Industry in the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. Please welcome Dana Webb into the Edinboro Athletic Hall of Fame and softball coach Dan Gierlach. Please join us as well.
All right, here we go. On behalf of Edinboro University, Edinboro Athletics, the Hall of Fame Committee, and everyone in between that has worked hard to put this event on, what a beautiful evening. It is a true honor to stand up here before you and accept this award. 15 years ago, my mom, stepdad, and I got off at exit 166 and fell in love. I'm not sure if it was the simplicity of a small town, the fresh air, the lack of traffic coming from Buffalo, New York, or the welcoming and friendly hellos, but we all fell in love. We fell in love for different reasons, assuring that this town and university was a perfect fit. Little did we know that this place would become my home so quickly. It's hard for me to believe that I've lived in this area for 15 years, almost the same amount of time growing up in my hometown. 15 years in one place outside of my hometown is a true testament of what this area means to me and how deeply it has impacted my life. There's so much to say about the game of softball. The game taught me so much about life and that it doesn't come easy. It taught me that there will be moments of great heights, but also moments of failure. There will be times in life when your strength is tested, and it's not how hard you get knocked down, but how fast you get up. Life can change in the blink of an eye, and you have to be prepared for the unexpected change. The game of softball prepared me for those curveballs, for those life obstacles and unexpected twists and turns. It prepared me for the obstacles and changes in my personal and professional journey. It taught me how to handle adversity and that nothing in this life comes free. Being extraordinary is not granted, but earned. It takes extra time, dedication, and with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and most of all, heart. Softball taught me how to compete, and I think I taught the game a little bit about my competitive edge as well. A memory that will forever stand out is watching my grandpa, who is present here tonight, a two-time Hall of Famer, while being inducted to the Nichols Hall of Fame. During the presentation of his award, he was described by the speaker in a way that resonated with me. My grandpa was described as someone who would never let anyone beat him. Whether he was running the fastest time at football practice, achieving the most tackles on the field, or sprinting the 100-yard dash, he always strived to be first and to be the best. That stuck with me in my years as an athlete and motivated me to be the best athlete I possibly could be. Even to this day, I strive to be my best in all that I do. Those words have motivated me to work harder than most and to never ever give up. For me, this award is not so much about my athletic career at Edinboro, the home runs I hit, the diving catches I made. It's the strangers who became friends and the friendships that turned into family. The people and the memories that have impacted my life are deeper than words can ever describe. It's the connections and memories I've made that will forever be ingrained in my heart and my memory. I will never forget the first time I stepped foot on the Edinboro softball field. I was fearless, with a dream and a vision. I was looking for people with the same passion. Fortunate enough, I found those people almost instantly. I soon realized that we all came to Edinboro for a reason, with similar backgrounds and mentality. This is something I will be forever grateful for. Without a shortstop who was dynamite, you couldn't turn as many double plays as we turn. Without base runners, RBIs don't happen. Without a catcher who could read my eyes from second base, you couldn't consistently throw people out. Without a first baseman who always knew what I was thinking, even before I did, you couldn't work together so seamlessly to ensure the best possible plays on the field. To my teammates that are here tonight, coming near and far, Alicia, Mare, Mandy, and Danielle, and also to the ones who couldn't be here tonight, please know that without you, I would not be standing up here tonight. Softball is a team sport, and without the women I played with, our successes as a team would not have happened, and my success as a player certainly would not have either. Thank you for the memories on the field, but more importantly, the memories off. Some of my greatest friendships were built on the softball field, and for those friends will forever remain my family. Beyond my teammates, I owe so many thank yous to people who have impacted my life thus far. From the professors here at Edinboro, the athletic department administration, Bruce, Todd, Dave, Sue, the medical staff who kept me healthy both physically and mentally, Gary Hanna, Becky Mokris, and my favorite workout buddy and forever friend, Hugo. To the Gerlach family, wow, 15 years of friendship. Many years ago, Amy Gerlach took me to the hospital after getting bit by a spider in Scranton Hall. The place was disgusting, if anyone knows. Right. We always joke that if she didn't take me to the hospital at that very moment, who knows what would have happened. I'm not really sure what Amy was more upset about, if it was the fact that I was deathly ill on her watch or the fact that everyone thought that she was my mom. I'm not really sure. She's really upset. But it's a story that when we are together, we always tell, laughing, of course. I want to thank you both for the late night phone calls, the holiday party invitations, the periodic home visits, and always allowing me to be a part of your family. You are my family away from home, and I can't thank you enough. To Coach Gerlach, I'm not sure if you think this is a good or bad thing, but you will forever and always be my #1 phone call. You have consistently been there for me in times of trouble and pure happiness. You have been my #1 supporter here, and your support has carried me through all these years. A few years ago, I was working down in Sharon, Pennsylvania, traveling, and I realized I forgot my wallet and my gas tank was on E. And in true fashion, I called Coach and explained my situation. Within seconds, without any hesitation, he said, "I'm on my way." Thank you. Your constant support on and off the softball field has not gone unnoticed, and I hope you know that. It's something that words could never express my gratitude. But more than anything, I want to thank you for your beautiful friendship. I will hold it close to my heart forever. You took a chance on me, this girl from Western New York, and together we made this happen. To my family, to the ones who could not make it this weekend, and to my family who is present tonight, to my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, Aunt Michelle, Alexis, Uncle Matt, Livy, and Anthony. I want to thank you for traveling near and far to be here to celebrate with me tonight and this weekend. I often say it takes a village to get by in this crazy journey we call life. All of you, in your own special way, are my village and what has helped me get through this crazy, beautiful journey. Thank you for being my support system in all different ways. You have helped shape me into the woman that I am today, and the absolute raw, unconditional love is something I am blessed to know and to feel, something I can't thank you enough for. I am one of the lucky ones, and I do believe that I have a family that loves my true, authentic self. I am truly blessed. A special thank you to my mom. Softball has been a part of our family for as long as I possibly can remember. Thank you for never missing a game, for being my #1 fan, and for always cheering the loudest in the crowd. I love you. Last, but certainly not least, there are two very special people who are watching down from heaven tonight. To my dad and to Benny, this one is definitely for you. In conclusion, what an honor to have the opportunity to represent Edinboro University in the game I love with my heart. People rarely tell you to slow down, to truly enjoy and cherish the moment you're living in. Or maybe they do, but you're too young and naive to realize the weight of the world, the weight of the words. There are days I wish I could turn back time and relive those moments that impacted me, that changed my life for the better. This is definitely one of those moments. One of those moments where I'm slowing down, taking it all in, enjoying this evening and weekend, and truly cherishing every single moment. This will be a memory I will never forget, one where someday I will, again, wish I could turn back time. Thank you.
Can all of the inductees tonight please stand one last time all together? Your class of 2019, give them a great round of applause. Certainly a great night to be a Fighting Scot and to be a family member of one of these inductees. Congratulations to the class of 2019. That concludes our program for tonight. Now, we remind everyone the Edinboro football team will host Cal U tomorrow at noon, and that's right. Tonight's Hall of Fame inductees will serve as honorary captains and will be recognized at halftime. Now, in addition, the women's soccer team will be playing Gannon at 5, so make it a doubleheader at Sox Harrison tomorrow to check out our great Edinboro athletes. And for the inductees, if you'd like any additional photos, please let us know. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Have a great evening.